it's me again, Rose, aka Happiness Warrior. So today I wanted to talk about vulnerability, so being vulnerable. It is one of my most favorite topic to discuss. It's also one um, it's an important tool to connect with others. And I know that it's difficult because being vulnerable, it's not something people want to do. I know that it means trusting the other person, trusting that your emotions are going to be handled with respect and care and the sensitivity that it deserves. But at the same time, we have absolutely no control over how others will behave. So if you have the courage and the strength to be vulnerable, I commend you to keep on that path and keep doing it because you're having the courage to stand up and be yourself, to be vulnerable, and you heal from being vulnerable, right? Like they say, the truth will set you free. And the way other people behave has nothing to do with you. It is the way someone handles the information that you give to them. It's an indication of their behavior, it's an indication of their persona. It is not an indication of your behavior or you. So if someone mishandled the information, it is only an indication of who they are as a person, which for you, it just gives you an opportunity to see them for who they are, right? Like if someone shows you who they are, believe them. So if that's what they do, then that's what they do. I actually have heard this a few times and I didn't really pay attention to it. And it used to be one of my, a professor who would say it all the time. He's like, child, if someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. No, he said believe them. And then I heard it a different time. I believe it was one of the shows that Oprah was running. I don't know if it was the life classes, the Oprah life classes, or the Super Soul Sunday. I don't remember which one it was, and or where the saying came from. But I remember her saying, "If someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." So I thought that was interesting because people will show you who they are with their actions, even if the words are saying something else. But let's get into this. This was me just going on at a tangent. So, vulnerability. This is a lesson that I'm still working on. I have not yet mastered it. I'm working on this. So, yay. If you are working on this too or want to work on this, let's do it together. So, I have like this secret, right? Like, this was like my biggest secret. I was never going to tell anyone. Like, if I was on my deathbed, and my closest friend was like, oh, come on, do you have anything that you want to just talk about and get it off your chest? I would be like, no, I have nothing. This is my secret. I'm taking it with me. How do I even talk about this? I guess I just talk. I just say it, right? So I have depression. And I don't know how you think someone with depression looks like, but some of them look like me. And so the reason I say I have depression is because I have suffered from depression. I don't know for how long. It took me a while. And when I realized it, oh my gosh, I remember being so surprised. Like I couldn't believe that I was depressed. I couldn't believe that it happened to me. I couldn't believe the things that I was doing. Yet it's like I was aware, but I couldn't stop myself somehow. But I remember I would have never talked. I would have never told anyone. And I'm working on this, right? Like talking, speaking my truth and being vulnerable. But I remember that when I finally had time to talk to myself, right? Like I used to always be doing something, always so busy that I didn't have time to check in with myself, to talk to myself and say, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? And so when that finally came, actually I didn't have a choice because I had hit rock bottom. Rock bottom. I don't even, how do I say this? Like you will never believe me because if you know me and you've spoken to me, or we've worked together in real life or virtually, you would never believe it, right? I was in such a bad situation. Wow. Yes. Um, I was going to work um, drunk. I can't handle alcohol at all. So this was a situation where I tried alcohol and I realized that it makes me sleepy. And so I slept because sleeping will stop you from thinking. Because dealing with depression, I have a formula. So depression is living in the past. So you're literally just thinking about all the things that have happened, and like you just recreate the stories over and over and over and over and over again, basically torturing yourself because it's a mental illness. And then you have anxiety, which is living in the present. You are anticipating everything that you think may happen, could happen, right? But it's not happening, but it's real. And depression and anxiety, I'm no expert, so please don't crucify me. From what it seems like they go together. It's like usually it's depression and anxiety together. Either the depression is more um, prominent and then the anxiety is a little bit more in the background, just kind of like keeping guard, or it's the other way around where the anxiety is the boss lady or boss boy, and the depression is kind of like the anxiety is Batman and the depression is Robin, and then sometimes in certain situation the anxiety is Batman. And I think you get it. um I don't know why I went there, because I'm realizing that my knowledge of cartoons, anime, superhero movies is not that great. So, when I talk about this, I know it sounds strange. I remember that. So, because I couldn't handle alcohol, what would happen is that I was going to work drunk off of, those, it's more of a wine cooler. I think they usually have anywhere from 5.8% alcohol to 3.6 or 3.5, one of those stuff. Or like wheat beer, wheat. It was called wheat beer. It was the one that I was drinking, and I would drink like maybe half, sometimes a little bit less than half. Most time a little bit less than half, and that would knock me down. And so I'm sleepy. So a little bit before I go to work, I would drink a little bit again because it would make me super sleepy. And the whole idea of staying sleepy is so I didn't have to think. And so every opportunity I had, all I'm doing is sleeping. I was falling asleep at work. And because I worked that night, of course, we all thought, oh no, it's just because we all work at night. It's hard to get enough rest during the day. But that's all I did. I was depressed, and that's all I did. I slept when I wasn't at work. I slept, and I forced myself to sleep. um like I said, I had been depressed for a while already. This is just one of the times where I was starting to realize something was going on. And for me, I can't speak for other people, I can speak for myself. I just remember that when I wasn't at work and I was like, I had hit rock bottom, I wasn't even like working out, so I will stay in bed. In this case, I was sleeping on the floor, and I would stay there. I could lay down for 3 4 days consecutive in a row without getting up to take a shower. And I know that I wanted to, and it's like I want to, and somehow it felt like I was stuck. I couldn't move. And all those days that I didn't take showers, every day was my goal is I'm gonna get up today, I'm gonna get up today, I'm gonna brush my hair, I'm gonna take a shower, I'm gonna brush my teeth. Can you believe going for 4 days and it seems like you don't have the strength to do, of course, you get up and go to the bathroom, but to do anything else felt like so much work. I couldn't I couldn't even answer my text messages. right? Because of course I was living a different reality. I was this person already that I am right now, but I wasn't. I was pretending to be happy, and you do it so for so long that it's real. You know, the whole faking until you make it. Oh gosh, I was really into the faking part, but I was definitely not into the right. Like there's fake it until you make it, and then fake it until you become it. I had mastered the faking it. So excuse me, as far as everyone is concerned, I was happy. I was this happy person, and I just have had a happy life, which is what someone said to me once. And I remember after she left, I went in the bathroom and cried because I thought, if only you knew. But I remember that every time I was home by myself, remember in that last video when I say when the doors are closed and the windows are blind, are closed and the lights are dimmed and you're by yourself, have those conversations with yourselves. I knew. I knew I was being fake. I wasn't confused about that. I knew the world had believed my act that I was this happy person and I had it together. I didn't. I was struggling inside, so much pain that I didn't want to feel. So when I hit rock bottom, I wasn't in control. Those emotions were just coming out. They were just coming out. They were just spilling out, and I was struggling. I didn't know how to handle it because I wasn't used to telling someone like I'm sad, I feel sick. No, it was just not. Plus, I'm used to like taking care of me. It's like I got me. This is what I'm used to. I'm not um I don't have the luxury to be in a situation where I can just mess up and think, oh yeah, someone is gonna catch me. No, if I fall, I'm catching me. I have to catch me. And if it happens that someone is there and they really want to catch me, oh Lord, please don't let me stop you. I used to have so much pride. I would be like, oh no, I'll do it by myself. No, if I'm falling these days and you want to catch me, don't let me stop you. I'm not even gonna stop you. Forget this whole pride business nonsense. But just being able to love me has taken me here. But I know that I'm going on and on, off and in and out of the topic. The reason I'm telling you this is that during that time of my life that I was drunk, because like I said, I can't really handle alcohol. So the little amount that I was taking was enough to like knock me down when I come back from work and to sleep. And it was also enough to just kind of keep me, I don't even know what that feeling was. It was a sleepy feeling, which was actually very uncomfortable. And here I am driving. And there were many times where I almost, like you're driving and like you're falling asleep. And so, of course, I was suicidal too. A normal person would be so scared. Not a normal person, but someone who isn't depressed and who wants to be, someone who isn't depressed would not just keep doing what I was doing. It's like I was so addicted to this behavior. I was doing it. Thankfully, it didn't go on for too long because I'm a very aware person and I always know when I'm not treating myself well, and I have this conscious thing that's gonna remind me of how far I am from who I say I want to be, and my morals and my ethics and my values. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And all that. I'm gonna drink some water, sorry. So, because I have this guilty conscience I have this conscience that reminds me of the things that I say I would do. I didn't stay there for too long in like the process of the drinking. The drinking stopped. Uh, it lasted for maybe 6 months, and I think it was probably more like 3.5, 4. Uh, I'm stretching it to 6 months because I think at that point I was kind of like skipping, not doing it as religiously as I was doing it, but it was functional. People couldn't tell that something was wrong with me, right? Because I'm this person that I am. I've learned to be this person all the time. I've learned to entertain people. I've learned to distract them enough that they can't tell that something is going on with me. At least that's what I was doing during that time of my life. So when I would be in a situation where I almost get hurt, it didn't really matter. In fact, at some point of my life, I was so suicidal that I went to bed every night praying that if there is a God, that when I wake up dead. Well, when I wake up, that I don't wake up, right? Like, that I don't wake up, that I go to bed and I died peacefully. Because, of course, I had already thought about how to take my life. I had read about it. The only reason I didn't do it is because I was like, I don't want to fail. Because apparently, you could fail. Like, the techniques were not 100%. They weren't going to give you the result 100%. There were times that it didn't work. So apparently the surest way was like to put a gun to your head. And of course I was thinking, oh, how do you get a gun? How can I get a gun? At the time it wasn't, I didn't live in this state, and it wasn't like it is now where you can easily get a gun. But I had plans and I was gonna go for it. The only reason I didn't do it is because I didn't want to fail. And now I was like, oh my gosh, can you imagine feeling like a loser and then trying to kill yourself and then failing? It's like, oh, I don't want to do that, right? So I remember going to bed every night and praying. I was like, if there is a God, if He do exist, then please, I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning. And every time I woke up and people would talk about life and say, oh, life is a gift and life is great and God give it to us as a gift, I remember not saying anything outwardly, but in my heart I used to think, yeah, okay, like life is a gift. What kind of gift and what kind of God? Like, I've been asking you to die. You don't kill me and you're killing all those people. Some of them don't want to die. Most of them don't want to die. I don't know why you're killing them and I'm here still alive, but yet you're God and I'm supposed to believe in you. I have had so many opportunities where I could have died, and I was hit by a car when I was 5 years old. It must have been really bad because I woke up in the hospital, so obviously I passed out. I don't remember. um I think when I was like 8 and a half, I drank bleach. Let me tell you, it was, so just to tell you, I must have been depressed for a long time, but I didn't know what was going on because there was so much going on, so many challenges that I was always going through, that when things finally calmed down, I was in a situation where I had too much time to think. I had too much time to go in my mind, and those emotions, you can't put poison in a bottle and stuff it and stuff it and stuff it and think that it's gonna stay there forever. It's gonna eventually come out. Like, you have to heal somehow. So my healing process was just taking things out. Sometimes I would find myself crying uncontrollably for like days at a time. Like, every time I was in the house, I was constantly crying, constantly feeling things that I didn't want to feel, but it was coming out. I realized that I'm going on and on and on and on. But all that, this person who wanted to die, this person who was looking for opportunity to die because she was in so much pain, to this girl, and it's like, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not even exaggerating. Today, it's like, I'm alive. Do you understand? Like, I love being alive. Oh my gosh. Like, I would have missed that on this life. I would have missed that on having a dream. I would have missed that on the amount of people that I have smiled with and hugged and met. Oh my gosh, life is a beautiful gift. I know, I've been there, where you feel like no one cares, where you feel like nothing matters, where you feel like paradigm is the best thing to do. But taking your life because you think you don't matter, I promise you, you do matter. You do matter. And like I said before, you can't be living life thinking that you have to matter to other people, that other people have to tell you that you're important. You have to tell you that you're important because you're here, because it takes all of us to survive. It's not just one person who's doing that. All of us to make this world the way it is. You do matter. You do matter. If you're someone who's thinking of suicide, I promise you, please don't do it. Please don't do it. It is not worth it. Okay, I don't know what it's like to die, okay? I've never been there. But I know what it's like to be alive, and I love the feeling of being alive. I love the feeling of being alive, being vulnerable, feeling pain, feeling joy, feeling sadness, feeling happiness. I love being alive. I know what it's like to be alive. I don't know about the other things, so don't ask me. But it's possible to get better. It's possible to live life. It's possible to be happy in this life, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. I promise you. The reason I can talk to you is because I've been that unhappy person. I know what it's like to be miserable. I've been there so many times. I told you I had a crew. I also know what it's like to feel the way I feel now. Oh, I'm not going back. I don't care. what's over there. I don't care how much you give me. I don't care what's going on. I'm not going back to being miserable. And yes, I know that life is gonna come with challenges. Life comes with challenges, just as life. It's fun. It is the fun part of life. The challenges are an opportunity for us to grow, for us to evolve, for us to be a better version of ourselves. In my case, I cannot say that I want to make the world a better place. Like what I'm looking to do, change the world by helping people fall madly in love with themselves. You best believe my challenges are not going to be easy. I can't sit here and cry because I already set my intent out in the universe. Things are going to be challenging, and like Les Brown says, if it's hard, do it hard. What are the other choices? I don't give myself the choices to quit. Like there are two choices: either I'm successful or I'm really successful. But the options to quit, it's not available for me. Just like when I start feeling like, okay, I'm not liking the way my body is looking, because for me, whenever things are not going well, I focus on the things that I can control. I can always control the way I look. I can always control the way I feel. Can I have more energy? Can I be more defined? Can I define, like, can I have more muscle or what have you? I know what I need to do, and I will get back on it, and I will do it without skipping, and I will overdo it like I often do. But what's going on at that moment is I don't tell myself I need to work. I tell myself I have to work out. It is a must. It's not an option. So when I tell myself I have to work out, my body knows it's game on. Like we're moving. But when I tell myself, oh, I need to work out, I should work out, I've noticed it usually doesn't happen. So when I need something, when I have to do something, when I want to do something, I tell myself I have to. Like, so when I say I have to, everybody knows. My mind, my heart, we know it's game time. We're not messing around. We're going. We're making it happen. We're going to fail, and it's okay. So, wow, okay. I realized that I was talking about being vulnerable, and now we're here. But what I'm saying with being vulnerable is it's hard. There are layers to it. It's going to take time, but I encourage you to do it with me, to learn to be more vulnerable, to tell the truth of how you feel. Like, I really don't feel good. I feel sad. I'm not happy with my life. Because once you can face the problem, you can change. Once you can look at the problem in the eyes, you can change. And while we're on this subject, why do I call myself a warrior? Because as a warrior, it's kind of like, those movies with the knight. They are on a mission, and they are the samurai. Okay, they're faced with a lot of challenges. You've noticed it's not just physical challenge. Sometimes it's emotional. Sometimes they fall in love, or sometimes it's someone that they meet along the path, and they want to help the person, but yet they have that mission. Being a warrior means that at the end of the day, you have a mission to follow. So if you fall down, if you have to stop and clean the bruises, if you have to be crying and crawling at the same time, you just keep moving forward, because challenges are going to hit you. They will come. And sometimes it's going to feel like you can't do it. It's going to feel like it's too difficult, but I promise you can do it. When you feel like you're done, when you feel like you have no more strength, you still got strength. I promise you. I know it sounds crazy, or it sounds like something you've heard before, but like I said, if you know me, and some of you know me, and you know you know what it felt like. Those times that I was so skinny and everyone was like, oh, you're so skinny, you need to start working out. I was like, yeah, I like being skinny. No, I didn't have food. I was so poor, I didn't have food. I was so hungry. My body had learned to be like, look, we're not eating. Everything is locked down. I am telling you. I was miserable inside, and I didn't even know. But I love people. So because I love people, so even though I was faking it in the presence of others, it wasn't too much of that. Like maybe the first few minutes, then I get into it, and I really enjoy being around people. I love people. I love people. I don't always like people. I have to have time alone. I must have time alone. So earlier when I was talking to you about being depressed, I remember that some friends, when I was started, so this vulnerability thing is taking a while, because I remember I lost some friends by being honest, by telling them, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know how to explain it, but when I'm at home, I can't pick up my phone. Like sometimes they send me messages, and it's like, oh, are you okay? I don't know what to tell you. I'm not okay. But how do I tell you I'm not okay? Because I've never being in a situation where someone cared about my emotions. I don't know you, even though we're friends. I don't know you enough to know if you're gonna be able to respect my feelings. And the few times I tried to open up, like, I think those people were not what you would call good listeners, so they were interrupt, or they would just kind of like not really listen to it, kind of like say, oh, it's okay, it happens to everybody. Like sometimes you want someone to hear you out, just listen to you, let you talk about the things I heard before they even give you an advice. And I and I wasn't getting that. And especially that I don't even like talking about myself. I like to focus on others. So the moment they interrupted, I was done. But I remember, like, when I first came out and was being vulnerable and I told some people, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't answer your messages because I can't. I don't know how to explain it. I can't answer your messages. Like it was even easier for me to text them. Like, they've been calling me, they've called me several times, and then eventually you text back to say, oh, I'm sorry, I saw your messages. Give me a moment, I'll get back to you. And then when I would get back to them and say something like, I couldn't answer you, I don't feel like talking, I'm just used, like, I didn't know that I was depressed. So of course I didn't know how to tell them this. But even at some point when I told some that I was depressed, of course some told me, oh, it's nothing, just pray about it, it will go away. Oh, it's not, or like, oh, it was a past, it's over. Once you have depression, you're always gonna have depression, or anxiety. You're always gonna have anxiety. The difference is that you have to manage it. These are not things that go away, they're things that you manage. So in my case, it's like, I know what's going on. So when the depression monster is creeping up on me, it's like, oh, I know what's going on here. Sometimes I may just need a break to just relax and chill, not put pressure on myself. So I do that. But I'm watching that, right? Like, I'm constantly checking with myself, like, what's going on. Am I going in the dark hole, like, the depression hole? Am I going there? Like, I'm checking to see what's going on, because you have to be aware of what's going on. But it gives you an added layer of strength, to be honest, because you have to be okay. You have to know when you are listening to the thought of your mind that are not you, because that's really what it comes down to. We think the thought in our minds are us. We think we have to react to every thought in our mind, and honestly, the mind just enjoys just running around and just being all wild. Learn to be honest with yourself. Learn to be vulnerable. I know it's difficult. It's not easy at all. Like, I'm here, and I know that I've kind of like held it together and deliver my message in a way that seems almost fun. But when I was going through this, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun for the longest time. And of course, pain isn't fun. When you feel miserable, it's not fun. But you can come out the other way. It's like they say, it's not what happens to you, it's the way you react. It's the way you react to what happens to you. Life is going to happen to you. Misery happens to all of us. Challenges happen to all of us. But we're here. And we just have to find a way to handle it. We just have to find a way to look at it. I mean, think about it this way. If being miserable and unhappy is not going to change your condition, you might as well be happy. You might as well have more moments of happiness, right? So that's all I'm saying. If this is helpful to you in any way, shape, or form, please share with other people. If you don't want to, that's fine. But if it is helpful for you, please share it with someone, because this whole thing is that I know that this may help just that one person that just needed to hear it, and that's the least we can do. We can pass out the information. So thank you once again for listening. I really appreciate your time. Friends and family and co-workers, I appreciate your support. And strangers and people that I haven't met yet, I appreciate your support. I appreciate your time. Have a wonderful day. Yeah. That's all for me today.